And welcome back, Dylan here from Indiverse.io, the world's only tabletop marketplace where you can pick up the latest and greatest independently developed tabletop games and tabletop role-playing games, fresh from Kickstarter, crowdfunding, or self-publishing. We have a very special one today. So we've got a lovely gentleman here who's creating a game that's currently in Kickstarter, has funded, but there are some cool things we want to talk about as far as getting some extra funding and some cool stuff they do to support local places, some charity things. So they're lovely. I'm joined today by the lovely Richard from Castle Beef. How you doing today, buddy?
Hello, Dylan. Yeah, all good, man. How are you doing? All right.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. We've just been enjoying and talking about great films, which I've had a weekend of them. So, look, I'm excited to shift the gear a little bit and go into tabletop games. Look at me, I'm making car jokes now. I don't know what's happening anymore. We have the amazing Castle Beef that you have developed and even have in front of you, which I mean, first person on the show with the prop, which I'm like, we'll take it, we'll take it.
Ah, brilliant. Really, I thought that must be a good idea. But yeah, no, I thought that'd be a good shout. Show everyone the castle that you get dealt to start with and the box and a few of the cards and whatnot.
It looks great, especially with like having such a decent size. Like you've got like a whole bunch of cards. I was just watching the video before. You've got like it's like 50 to like 100 cards of just like all these weird and wacky portraits, spells, animations. So we'll start from the top. What's the game? How's it played? And what's so amazing about it?
Yeah, cool. So for me, the most amazing thing about the game is the take that moments where you attack each other constantly. I think a lot of games these days sort of try and be a little bit too chummy, and one of the things I like about playing Castle Beef or games with take that moves is it teaches your kids and everyone around the table to be attacked and to defend yourself both verbally and without throwing your teddy in the corner, and it's a good space to do it starting at home.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
um but yeah, basically the game itself, you start off with these castle cards. You get dealt 11 castle cards, and inside these castle cards you have infantry members, and
Yeah.
you have a distillery. I'm sure most Australians will be pleased to hear.
Oh yeah. Oh
And you
yeah.
have a magic mirror which reflects shots back if someone shoots you. But eventually, you'll find you have a royal family. And the whole idea of the game is to shoot somebody's castle, uncovering different cards as you go to get the royal family. And basically, there are four members of the royal family: the king, queen, prince, and princess. And once you've taken them all out, that player's out, and you can go on to win the game.
And it's something I miss so much about like that level of control that you get for this style of game. But I know just from having seen the stuff that you put out that there's a lot more like spanners in the works that can go on. So what are some of the elements that allow someone to say when you're trying to say take that, they can say maybe not so fast.
Well, not so much really. We did
Oh,
experiment with
okay.
the nope cards that you see in a lot of games, but we just found that those and castle shuffle cards and whatnot just drew out the game far too long. The
Okay.
game itself plays wonderfully as a sort of half hour, three quarters an hour if you've got six people, sort of short game. But if you're sort of trying to do 4 hours of Castle Beef, you might start to rock in the end when you're waiting for it to finish.
I love that. I love that. It's not a bolster and defend. It's just take down the other guy faster than you're getting take down. That way you can like it's
No,
all
no, no, don't get me wrong. There's absolutely defense. So, for instance, there's cards where you can resurrect your royals and turn your deceased royal cards back over. And there's
okay.
cards where you can get reinforcements for your infantry. So you can
Okay.
turn your infantry cards back over. So the game can go on quite a bit. And there is definitely a lot of another defense card for you there. These have a grey outline. So when you place them on top of one of your castle cards from the other side of the table, they can be a little bit tricky sometimes. You think, oh, I've got their queen. Oh no, that's a stunt double. That's a defense card. They've still got a one health point left, if you like, or one royal left.
Okay. Okay. All right. So fine tuning the balance is something that you've like really focused on when it comes to this game to get like your timing right. Like they're that sweet spot of like feeling like the game is not going to just be like barreled through, but you still have a few chances to get the back in, but you're not getting that drag like you talked about. How do you I mean obviously there's just a lot of playtesting in there, but what sort of motivated your decision to sort of look for this like more snappier game?
Um, I guess because as a family of gamers, we end up either sitting down for a games night where we get a big board game out, or we just want a quick game. Some people call them filler games.
Yep.
And I wanted Castle Beef, or the game I did, to just be a quick game, not some big drawn out engine building board game, which are great. But for my first attempt at building a game, we thought we'd do a nice, quick, fun card game. And yeah, Castle Beef certainly hit the mark.
Yeah, yeah. What I've really enjoyed is seeing the custom cards and custom prints that you've been like shouting out and getting people to who do early signups for. How do you get? Is it you who does any of the like all of the image and graphic design for it, or how do you get that done?
So that's just all me basically. So yeah, I've done all of the artwork, imaging, graphic design, etc. And yeah, like you say, the custom cards have been really popular. So at the moment, you can become a member of the infantry. I think there's two competitions left. I think the next one starts today, and then there'll be one more before the end of the campaign. But yeah, basically, if you don't mind being characterized, you'll become a permanent card in the game if you win.
Oh, we will absolutely. So I have been keeping up with the beautiful graphic work that's been happening on Instagram. We will make sure to link it down below because people, you have to see these. They are all fantastic. They look so good. Do you have a history in like graphic design or art, or is it just something that you've just started doing with this and found a knack for it?
Yeah, no, not really. Like you say, I mean, I did art throughout my life, school, college, etc. But no, I mean, I do a bit of creative stuff in my day-to-day work, but it's more sort of hands-on than on a laptop or an iPad sort of thing. But yeah, no, it's been fantastic. I've really enjoyed doing the pictures. And I've learned so much with animation and social media posting and whatnot these days. It's a different ballpark from when I was doing it, 20, 30 years ago. But it's been a really, really interesting journey. And I've been able to teach what I've learned to my kids as well, which has been lovely.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Do you have secret aspirations that they'll go to make games as well, or is that we'll see how we go?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, see how it goes, really. Like you say, they've certainly loved being part of the journey of Castle Beef. And we were playing a games night last night, and it was between Heat and Castle Beef. And it was me who was the big meanie saying no to Castle Beef because I've obviously been playing it just a couple of times lately.
Yeah.
But yeah, normally, that's such a lovely moment when people are sort of, we want to play your game rather than one of these mega games that you see in the shops.
Oh yeah, look, well, if you've anyone who's seeing watching this, you ever seen any of our booths at the local events we go to here in Australia, you'll see my duffel bag full of games that I've bought so that we can do demos with ones that I own rather than the ones that we're trying to help sell for the designers. Yeah, they get a lot of love. They get a lot of love, and I have so many that I could be like, these are I'd say better than the games they're inspired by. Which look, that might be a hot take for the likes of Hasbro and stuff, but look, I'll take. Speaking of inspiration, what kind of games do you feel that you've been inspired by when creating Castle Beef? Was there one thing that was like, I want this, but a little different, or is it a whole bunch of games that you've had in your collection for a long time?
Yeah, like you say, probably the latter, really. As you can probably see here, as part of Castle Beef, once you've built your castle, you get dealt 5 cards, which is sort of a revolving hand. And from that, you have different phases in your game where you can build your army. So, one of the things a lot of people love is the fact that you can combine cards. So, here you can see you can build the pieces of a dragon and combine all of these cards to make this epic 4-hit wonder dragon. But also, just to build up your army to fire at your enemies, you can build these two-piece cards. So you have two-piece magical weapons, which stack in a portrait style, or you have two-piece artillery weapons, which sort of stack in a landscape style. And then once you've built your army, you can start flinging projectiles at your family and friends.
this. So you've got the beautiful flexibility of like this combination building spell magic. I love that. That's I hadn't seen that in so long and used in like this style of game. Again, you're looking for pace, but you still want to have something that's really dynamic and replayable, and that nails it. Wow, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, no, it's great. Plus, also with Castle Beef, not only can you shoot your opponent's castle, you can shoot their weapons as well. So if you think, oh, this guy's
Oh,
close to competing a dragon, I'm gonna shoot the top of his castle and the top of the dragon, so that goes in the discard pile, and we uncover. Hey, look at that, a royal.
yeah,
So yeah, it's great because, like I say, you're really quite open to possibilities as far as your strategy goes.
yeah. I the more I see, like we start to start talking about this game, it's like, oh, it's a simple. I want to get a 30-minute in and out. I'm like, but I'm seeing like layers of strategy, like planning turns ahead for like getting your spells out right, making sure the other person's not like conjuring their dragon or getting their artillery out. I love that. I love that,
Yeah,
especially
well, you'll
options.
you'll love you'll love this especially, Dylan. So I've got to mention the robbers. So there's a number of robber cards, these yellow cards, which allow you to steal parts from your opponent's army. So some of the great moves, some of the great take that moves are when you steal a part of a dragon and then use it to complete your dragon and then send it straight back to destroy your family or friend. Oh, I love those moves. Or again, one of my favorites is when you steal their defense card. So you steal their defense card, that goes onto your castle, but then you also go and shoot the piece underneath that they were defending. Love that.
Oh, and then like obviously then you can be like playing your defensive cards where you don't want people to shoot, or you want them to shoot away from like your royal. So there's like meta strategies and like knowing the player. Okay, all right, I'm sold. I'm sold. I'm sold.
Yeah, yeah,
That.
definitely. Like you say, this is probably one of my favorites. Might be able to see just down here.
Mm, mm,
So you
mm.
have a sort of standard castle shape, and then you have something weird, like a little lean-to or a little garage on the side. It's
Mm.
just asking to be shot. And then, like you say, you layer it in maybe multiple layers of defense cards, just to again make it look like, oh, this is absolutely a royal. And then one of your opponents shoots away, uses a huge arsenal to get there, and oh, in this case, it's a king. But the best ones are a magic mirror. When they
Yup.
finally get there, the shot's reflected back at them.
I can see how you have many loud noises coming from the table when you're having these kind of games. I can say like we have a couple of great games that we support or just even enjoy. Where I'm like, I can't lie, you're going to be swearing across the table at each other. And we don't condone it, but it's unavoidable at this point. So, age, who you looking to target this one at? It looks like it's a game for everybody, honestly.
Yeah, it
Beautifully
really
done.
is. Like you say, it's a great family game. It's playable for ages 6+, so even really young get their head around the different coloured borders on the cards very quickly and can play the game within minutes really. So 6+ definitely, but also it can't be underestimated as a good evening game for drunken adults. As soon as you've got three or more players and a couple of these cards have been turned over one way or the other, if you've had a couple of drinks, you don't know what's going on. And yeah, with hilarious consequences.
Oh yeah. Those are the best times to having games, is where you're like, oh, we just play by the seat of our pants. So this has been something you've been working on for a couple of years now. I believe when I read it was about 4 years ago you started. What inspired you to want to make tabletop games in general?
Yeah, well, as a family, we've always been big tabletop gamers. Once a week we have games night, and it's just a nice social way to relax and have a giggle with each other around the table. We still do play some console games, but again, they're generally couch games where we're all involved rather than everyone's just locked in on their own little screen sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this was kind of born out of lockdown, really. So during lockdown, I had a greenhouse at the end of the garden where I started to try and grow some veg. And after my family ate the veg, they said, "Dad, you really should grow something else." So we quickly shelved growing veg because it was pretty nasty. And I've always been a big environmentalist. So I said, "Oh, we could grow some trees, reforest the world a little bit, plant some acorns that were, littered all over the floor up the road, and see what happens." So yeah, from there we started growing these trees, and one of my children turned around to me when she was helping me plant these trees and said, "Oh, Dad, wouldn't it be fun if we could actually reforest the world and have fun at the same time?" And I did. It did tickle me at the time, thinking, "Oh, I thought we were having fun, but okay." And it did get me thinking. And yeah, later on in the games night, I was like, "Well, we were playing a small card game. I think it was Goat Lords, and we're saying, wouldn't it be great if this tiny little card game, for every card game sold, they planted a tree. That would reforest the world. Wouldn't it be great if we could make a game that did that?" And yeah, it went on from there. There's about a year or two of just trying lots of different games ideas. There was almost a maths game that came out, but Castle Beef was we were testing it at the same time, and Castle Beef, everyone just kept going back to it, and they absolutely loved it. So we went down the road of developing Castle Beef.
Wow, it's always like I guess you always got to back up another game to like work on. It's been marinating for a little while as well, so like maybe you got another one on the pipeline.
Yeah, yeah, this is it. Like you say, once Castle Beef's started to be put through production, I can start focusing on other games and projects. Will be awesome.
Wow, wow, amazing. So is the plan to like have expansions for like any of the games you're looking at? Do you have a magnum opus like sitting in the background somewhere, or are you just going to keep making games just because you love it?
Kind of bit of both, really. So with Castle Beef, one of the game modes which has just made it for launch is called Rescue the Princess.
Hmm.
So normal Castle Beef, you build your own castle and you attack each other. Rescue the Princess, you build a giant tower down the length of the table, and everyone races up the tower to try and rescue the princess at the top.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
a fantastic extra game mode, and people were saying I should put it as an expansion. But one of the things that annoy me a little bit about games on Kickstarter, etc., is you end up buying a starter game, and then every expansion after that costs you more money. And I
Hmm.
didn't want Castle Beef to do that, so I wanted to launch Castle Beef with the game modes that we've developed so far, but also there's another game mode which is in development at the moment, which we're hoping to add. But most importantly, you can add it with rules. There's no extra components needed. All the components you'll ever need are in the game already. So it's just a separate set of rules to give you another layer of value to the game, I guess.
Because you've already got like such a great foundation with again a lot of flexibility, like you can go ham on just making new stuff for what you've already got. I really like that. I appreciate that. Respect it as well. I love the heart that goes into like these sort of decisions when it comes to like independent developers just making cool stuff because that's why we do it. It's what we love,
Yeah,
making cool stuff.
yeah, exactly that. And that's like you say, the whole thing behind Castle Beef is if it can fund itself, which it has now, then once a production run is made, every game sold will plant a tree, and from that, there's enough money in there to save up for another production run. So it can be a perpetual thing online for people to buy, and whenever they do buy a copy, like I say, we plant a tree around the world, which offsets the carbon footprint of making the game and then some.
Yeah, and then some. One deck of cards compared to a whole tree out there. Like I think your ratios are really good if you do it one for one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look, it's a great cause. I think it's amazing. I saw that that was linked up on your socials profile. Is that something that you are doing for like every completed backed game? Once obviously the campaign's over and everything clears through, are you just going to be like, cool, we're just sending out to get however many trees all done at once?
Yeah, no, so that's like you say, the whole thing behind Castle Beef. So what you see here, the prototypes, everything so far has been funded by my beloved greenhouse, and the little trees that we've grown from seeds to saplings there, we've been selling on eBay, and that's given us the money to produce the prototype and get to where we are. But once it's produced, we'll be in partnership with Tree Nation, and we like them because they plant trees everywhere around the world, and especially in underprivileged areas where the trees not only create good for the world, the wildlife, but they create jobs as well. So yeah, no, it's fantastic. Trees have gone into making it, and trees will be planted for every game sold from now on.
Man, if we could all do that for all the games. Actually, maybe we would have way too many trees then. There's a lot of games that come out of crowdfunding for say every year,
Yeah.
but let's say you could slice them and say, yeah, look, you guys, you're doing trees this year. You talk about like what the plans are. So it feels like you've already got a plan for yourself and your, I guess, future game creations as well. What's is there like a point at which you feel like you'll have like your dream space, like where you feel like you might have made it as a game designer, or is it just like I'm just at the point of loving it, so I'm just gonna do it?
Yeah, I'm the latter, definitely. Like you say, I don't see myself as a game creator or like say some multi-million pound business. It's more like, if we can create something that sustains itself and does a bit of good in the world and that works, then let's try and do it again. Let's try and do something bigger and better next time, maybe a board game. But like I say, we're still on the journey with Castle Beef, but hitting the initial funding goal has got us to a great level where we can produce the game. And yeah, like I say, if we can go on from there and yeah, produce some more, or like I say, put some money towards R&D for the next project, that would be even better.
So I was looking at the page before, and it looks like you've got a whole bunch of different tiers that people can go through and have a look at, and they have different, obviously different benefits, different things. So give us a walkthrough. What sort of things are you offering up with this campaign?
Yeah, so again, just really keeping to the ethos behind Castle Beef. We didn't want to put loads of useless tact and rubbish in there just to add extras for different tiers. So we said, what do people want? If they're going to back the game, what do they want? Well, they want the game. So
Yeah.
that's it. Tier one is you've got beef, you've got the game. So basically, tier one is the game, and then after that, tier two was join the infantry. I mentioned earlier about the competitions we run. So we'll be doing these competitions where you can become a characterized infantry member. But also, if you don't win one of the competitions, or if you just want to back the game and become one of the infantry members, that's tier two, is join the infantry. Um, and my favourite one, tier three, is the royals. So if you go for the royal banquet of beef, then you get to become or get to put your family's heads on the different royal cards. So as long as you've got four people you can plonk faces on, we'll
Mm.
copy and paste their faces over onto the different cards. And again, as I say in the bump of it all, it doesn't really matter if you've not got a king, queen, prince, and princess. We could do two queens, a pet dog, and a prince if you like. It's no problem. But yeah,
Oh,
you've certainly got the ability to design your own personalised castle beef set as well.
I am so looking forward to how many like full four cat sets you get. I hope that you like get as many of them out that we can see as possible. Just full cat families, full pet families. I'm so there for it. I don't doubt you'll have heaps of them. So before we wrap up, we'll give you another big space to shout yourself out. Tell people where they can find you, what you do. So, where can people find you on social media? I said there was an Instagram. Is there anywhere else people can follow? Obviously, check out what you're doing with
Yeah,
Castle
there's
Beef.
a Facebook page and there's a TikTok account as well. I do post pretty much the same as what I post on Instagram, and I was going to say Instagram is probably where I'm most active because it's where we get the most sort of feedback and interaction, and that's where I'll be running the competition. So if you do want to become a character in the game, definitely head over to our Instagram grid and click on the latest competition. They're all fun. So, they're all caption this or fill in the blanks. So, have a bit of fun with it and yeah, see what happens.
But I have been enjoying you just sending out like the captions. I think I should have flagged that you were like a classic movie buff because you had the an original like Shining with Jack Nicholson there. I've seen like a couple of old classic films. I'm like, I don't know
Yeah.
how I didn't get that for you before, but
Definitely. Yeah, well, like I say, there's another competition today. I'll be launching today. And then that's the penultimate competition. Then there'll be one more. And then that's it. All the cards will be done for the end of the game, for the end of the campaign, sorry.
fantastic, fantastic. And I have to ask, how's the feelings? How are you? How are you coping? I mean, obviously it's fun, which must feel fantastic. But how's the anxiety? How are you feeling about the campaign as a whole?
Yeah, no, great. Honestly, I was just really anxious, like you say, that it was going to hit its funding goal. I think I mentioned to you earlier or before about Castle Beef being funded slightly different. I sat down with some marketing guys beforehand, and they were all saying, "Oh, 20, 25 pound game. Yeah, that's you can't really afford to do any advertising on that because most buyers will cost you about." £20 per person in advertising.
Mm.
So I was like, wow, that doesn't sound good for my game at all, does it? But they advised me, and we sort of took it as well, that was a good hint to save up the money from our tree shop and put it towards securing production for the game. So rather than having to ask for £3,000 or £5,000 to actually make the game, we managed to get it down to as low as 500. But I was still pretty nervous about sort of getting it there because I don't know that many people to buy my game, even though I'm sure my mum and my friends and family have all bought a copy for me. But it was just lovely when we hit that fully funded mark to know that, like I say, Castle Beef will now be a reality.
Yeah, yeah, it's got to feel great. We've done a couple of these, and every time you can just feel the positive, like the energy from you guys, just like knowing that you've done it, and now everything else is just like we can do so much more with this. Check it out, guys. It's a great made by a great person who supports growing trees, which we're all about. We love that. Castle Beef. Check it out on Kickstarter. We'll have links down below. I have been Dylan, representative from Indiverse.io, the world's only tabletop marketplace to grab all these lovely Kickstarter and crowdfunding games. I have been joined by the lovely Richard from Castle Beef. Thanks so much again for jumping on today. It's been absolutely wonderful.
No problem. Thank you, Dylan. Thanks for having us on, man.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, go down below, find out where the games are, check it all out. It's amazing. We'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Yeah. Take care. Cheerio.